Analyses.
Hello and welcome to Gilli Pong Analysis. I am here to talk about some new stuff that I want to analyze with you. So we are supposedly in a pandemic, in a horrible thing. So I just want to go down history and try to analyze a little bit about this theory. Yes, theory that is called the germ theory. Last time we spoke, we tried to look at gravity, the theory of gravity, and which is actually the law of gravity, which has another indication. You have to follow the law, otherwise you are considered unlawful. So, but it's based on a theory. The law is based on a theory, and that is gravity. So we're going now into germ theory. These are the foundation of this belief system, which we call atheism. These are the pillars. When we are Hercules holding the pillars and we're shaking them. Or was that Samson? Let's see. Let's just pull on the Samson look. Get it done. Okay, history of pandemics. Throughout history, as humans spread across the world, infectious diseases have been a constant companion. Even in this modern era, outbreaks are nearly constant. Visualizing the history of pandemics. Going back to 165 after the death of Christ towards the present. Here we have HIV, AIDS. Here we have the Russian flu. Here we have the Spanish flu. Which actually it didn't originate in Spain, which is kind of funny if you go into that. They just wanted to call it that for some reason. But here we are. And now, this is I think from 2001, 4 years ago. This is March 14, 2020. This is just at the beginning of the last big thing. I don't want to use too many words here. I don't want to trigger the algorithm to kind of ban me. So let's just go through it. And I'm not going to just go through this boring thing that you've seen throughout your years. I'm just going to go into the germ theory part. So, according to this, but it's kind of awkward when you start seeing the, like from the 1600s or from the 1500s even, you see 1520, 1600, 1700, 1817 to 1923. It's like 1 year and 5-6 days. No, whoa, that's 106 years. And then we have 1855, and then we have the late 1800s, and then we have 1981, which that kind of thing happened. And then now we are in the 2020. So it's always kind of like 100 years apart. It's kind of interesting. You know, the 18th century Great Plagues. The guys with the mask. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this here. And here is like an article about this where you can see that it's a theory of germs from the National Library of Medicine. And we're talking about Koch's pustules and the fact that little microorganisms can travel through the air and make you sick. So that's the theory of the germ theory. So I just want to take it down a little bit down memory lane. There's a story that happened. There's a life that was born in the Soviet Union, where they're called Masha and Dasha Krivoshlyapova. These angels were born, and they had separate spines, but two legs which one of them controlled. And they lived until 2003. But I wanted to show you a little bit of a story here, which is very interesting. Just going to tell you the story here. The new mother was told that her twin babies had died after birth. However, the truth was far different. They were sent to an institute near Moscow to be studied. This was to be the fate of Masha and Dasha, one of the most unusual sets of Siamese or conjoined twins ever born. Identical twins are formed when a fertilized egg divides into two eggs, and the two eggs grow into two babies that are identical in every respect. Conjoined or Siamese twins are formed in the same way as identical twins, but the eggs, for some reason, don't completely separate. Instead, they remain partially attached. It was the unique way in which the twins were connected that caused Soviet scientists to take such an interest in them. Although Masha and Dasha have 4 arms, they have only 3 legs. They have 3 legs. They stand on 2 of their legs, one controlled by Masha and one by Dasha. They were 5 before they learned how to walk, while a third vestigial leg remains in the air behind them. Their upper intestines are separated, but they share a single lower intestine and rectum. They have 4 kidneys and 1 bladder, and often disagree on when to urinate. They have a common reproductive system. Because their circulatory system are interconnected, the twins share each other's blood. Therefore, a bacterium or virus that enter one twin's bloodstream will soon be seen in the blood of the sister. Yet, surprisingly, illness affects them differently. Dasha is short-sighted, prone to colds, and right-handed. Masha smokes occasionally, has a healthier constitution, higher blood pressure than her sister, good eyesight, and is left-handed. The twins' differing health patterns present a mystery. Why did one become ill with a childhood disease, like measles, for example, while the other did not? The measles bug was in both of their bodies, in their collective bloodstream. So why didn't both get the measles? Evidently, there is more to getting measles than having the measles bug. This phenomenon was seen over and over again with the girls. Flu, colds, other childhood diseases were all experienced separately. If germs alone had the power to cause infectious diseases, why would one of the twins be disease-free while the other was ill? What was it in their makeup that differentiated one from the other? The answer was not far to seek. Although Masha and Dasha had common circulatory, digestive, excretory, lymphatic, endocrine, and skeletal systems, they were joined at the hips. They had separate spinal columns and spinal cord. This was the only important difference between the two girls. In Masha and Dasha, nature's laboratory devised an experiment that no human researcher could duplicate. These extraordinary twins are an invaluable example confirming that there is much more to catching a disease than simply breathing in germs. Germs can make you sick if and only if your body provides fertile ground to grow in. The state of your nerve system can determine whether you have high or low resistance to disease. If you are suffering from disease, the health of your nerve system will play a decisive role in whether or not and how rapidly you will recover. By keeping your spinal column and nerve system free of subluxations. I'm not sure. Okay, this is from a chiropractic. They're pointing to the fact that the spinal columns and the nerve systems are a very important aspect of keeping yourself disease-free. But the story about these two individuals that were conjoined gives you a deeper insight into the theory of germs. If you're stressed, if you're depressed, if you're going through difficulty in your life, if you're eating the wrong things, if you're consuming products that make you increase your cortisol, it will make you more prone to getting cold. If you eat a lot of sugar, if you have a sugar binge on Saturdays, then you will get, when it will be easier for you to get sick. This is an aspect that needs to be discussed and needs to be understood by everyone. This is something that I wanted to kind of introduce because germ theory is a theory. And if you go into that field and try to understand it with your common sense, without relying on scientists to tell you things, you will understand things from your perspective. And that perspective is key in keeping health in your life. There's a current move by a massive psychological operation through ads, through peer pressure, through changing how you view the world. And I've seen that the believers in atheism, the lack of God, they tend to believe more in science. But the science, it's actually horrible. Because if you go into the story of Masha and Dasha, when you go into just the Wikipedia sites, there was a horrible scientific experiment that they went through. It was in the Soviet Union. They were removed from their mother, and their mother didn't know that they had survived. And it was horrible because they used them as a scientific experiment. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight into that. So the germ theory pillar, we should try to shake that away because what you believe also is very what huge. I wanted to because there's something called the placebo effect. What is it called again? So the placebo effect, the idea that your brain can convince your body of fake treatment, according to healthharvard.edu. They call it fake treatment, but it's actually real treatment because you're taking a pill and you're convincing yourself that you're healing. And this is an important part. When you are told by the scientists that can tell you when to die, if you believe it, it has an extra effect on you. So that's how I wanted to end this. Thank you so much for watching. And it's time to shine, so let's glow. And ha ide bera.
Gilli Pong.
Analyses.